Top 10 Open World Games of 2016. Open World Free Roam or Free Play is an alternative term for video games where a player can move freely through a virtual world and is given considerable freedom in regards to how or when to approach particular objectives, as opposed to other computer games that have a more linear structure to its gameplay. Open world and free roaming suggests the absence of invisible walls and loading screens that are common in linear level designs. Generally, open world games still enforce many restrictions in the game environment, either because of absolute technical limitations such as graphics, or in limitations such as locked areas imposed by a game's linearity. Examples of high-level autonomy in computer games can be found in MMORPGs or in other games adhering to the open world concept, such as the Fallout series. The main appeal of open worlds is that they provide a simulated reality and allow players to develop their character and its behavior in the direction of their choosing. In these cases, there is often no concrete goal or end to the game. The limitations to the autonomy through the rules of the simulation and its limitations. The direction of the gameplay may or may not rely ultimately upon the decision of the player, as in some cases this can be completely controllable by the player, but it all depends on the type of requirements and abilities of that specific game. Number 1. Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is an action role-playing game played from a third-person view. Players take control of Aloy, a hunter and an archer, as she progresses throughout a post-apocalyptic land ruled by mechanized creatures such as robots and dinosaurs, a majority of which can be hacked into submission. The game is set 1,000 years in the future, wherein humanity has long fled Earth because of the robots. Dialogue wheel interface can be used to communicate with non-playable characters. The game's role-playing elements have been said to resemble those of Assassin's Creed or Skyrim. Number 2. Mafia 3. Mafia 3 is an action-adventure video game played in the third-person perspective, in which players assume the control of Lincoln Clay, a Vietnam War veteran, on a quest to seek revenge for his friends, who are murdered by the local mobs. The game is set in 1968 New Bordeaux, a reimagined version of New Orleans, with an open-world design allowing players to freely explore the game's world. Players can complete objectives using a variety of approaches. For example, players can use weapons provided in the game like shotguns and revolvers to eliminate enemies. Alternatively, they can make use of stealth tactics throughout the entire mission without being noticed by the enemies. Core gameplay revolves around gunplay. In addition, players can perform execution moves engaging in melee combat. The game also features a cover system, allowing players to take cover behind objects to avoid enemy gunfire. Players can also interrogate NPCs after defeating them in order to gain information on their objectives. Players can attack and overrun locations owned by the Italian mob and assign one of their lieutenants to operate the location. Number 3. Skyrim Remastered. Last month, Bethesda confirmed one of their most popular role-playing games, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, is going to be released again later in this year. A brand new version, dubbed Skyrim Special Edition, on PC and consoles. As the PC version will be available for free for all of those who purchased the original release and all the DLC packs. By far, this is the most exciting thing that happened at E3 in my opinion. I hope you guys try out Skyrim if you have not tried it out before. It's an amazing game. Number 4. Scalebound. Scalebound is an up-and-coming action role-playing game developed by PlatinumGames and published by Microsoft Studios. In this game, players assume the control of Drew, who is accompanied with a dragon called Thuban. Players can use a variety of weapons to defeat enemies and issue commands to the dragon, which assist the player during battles. Unlike other games developed by PlatinumGames, the game puts more focus on graphical qualities and the role-playing aspects instead of the action. Number 5. No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky's gameplay is built on 4 pillars: exploration, survival, combat, and trading, in which players are free to perform within the entirety of the procedurally generated dramatistic open universe, which includes over 18 quadrillion planets, many with their own set of flora and fauna. By exploring, players gain information about the planets that they can submit to the Atlas, a universal database that can be shared with other players of the game. Players get compensated in the currency every time new information is uploaded to the Atlas. Players also gain materials and blueprints to upgrade their characters' equipment and purchase a variety of starships, allowing them to travel deeper into the center of the galaxy and survive on the planets with hostile environments. Interact in friendly or hostile manners to computer-controlled space-faring factions, or even trade with ships. Blueprints to upgrade their characters' equipment, purchase a variety of starships, allowing them to travel deeper into the center of the galaxy or trade with other ships. Number 6. Far Cry Primal. Far Cry Primal is an action-adventure video game. As the game is set in the prehistoric times, the traditional gunplay and vehicle gameplay featured in the Far Cry series was completely removed. Players can only get access to melee weapons like spears, clubs, and axes, and ranged weapons like bows and slings. Players cannot purchase weapons and must craft them using the materials scavenged in the world, such as wood and stone. As the players progress, they can craft more lethal weapons and larger varieties of resources. Besides facing natural predators, players must also compete with other hostile tribes occupying the area. By attacking and seizing bonfires and camps, the Winja tribe will move in and begin patrolling the nearby region, and the player will gain fast travel points as camps to rest in. NPCs will also track the player to rescue tribe mates and perform other tasks which improve the village, as well as provide free crafting materials. The game also features a day-night cycle, which will affect gameplay. At night, more predators are present and become more aggressive and dangerous. Players can make use of fire as a tool for personal protection or hunting at night. Number 7. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Kingdom Come Deliverance will utilize a classless role-playing game system, allowing for players to customize their skills to take on roles such as warrior, bard, thief, or something in between. Abilities and stats will grow depending on what the player does and says through branched dialogue trees. During conversations, the player takes time to make a decision, is limited, and will have the effect on the relationships with others. Reputation will be distributed on player choices and therefore can bring consequences. Number 8. Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Mirror's Edge Catalyst is a first-person action-adventure game in which the player takes control of Faith Connors as she progresses through a futuristic city named Glass. Similar to the original Mirror's Edge, players traverse the city using aspects of the urban exploring and parkour movements to complete missions and evade or fight enemies. Players can also use environmental objects such as ziplines and ledges, and equipment including mag rope and the distributor to travel across buildings. When players mark an objective on their map, Faith's runner vision is activated, and some sensory items automatically highlight in red. These act as guides to lead players towards their objective. To use the levels and linear gameplay found in the first Mirror's Edge has been replaced with an open-world free-roaming environment. This gives the players more freedom and traversal, allowing for them to use multiple paths to reach one objective. Number 9. Crackdown 3. The original Crackdown was made famous by having the Halo 3 beta, so people bought the game just to get the beta, but after the beta was over, people realized that Crackdown was actually an amazing game, and Crackdown 3 is another sequel in the Crackdown series. Crackdown 3 will use CloudGen, which has been a previously rumored to be Crackdown 3 will use CloudGen, which has been previously rumored to be a core part of the Xbox One software. According to Phil Spencer, CloudGen will help to develop the core engine, while Reagent Games, a studio located in close proximity to CloudGen, will develop the gameplay and art assets for the game. Microsoft's studio creator Director Ken Lobb asserted that the game will only be called Crackdown instead of Crackdown 3, stating that the game is set in the future of the first game but represents an alternative timeline from what happened in Crackdown 2. Number 10. Homefront: The Revolution. Homefront: The Revolution is an open-world first-person shooter game developed by Dambuster Studios and published by Deep Silver for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox, with OS X Linux releases to follow. It is a reboot to the Homefront. Homefront: The Revolution takes place in 2029, an alternative timeline following the propagandist Ethan Bradley as he stages a resistance movement against the army of North Korean occupation in the city of Philadelphia. Homefront: The Revolution received mixed reviews upon release, critics mostly praising the open world and weapon customization, while criticizing the narrative, characters, and gunplay, as well as the technical issues hampering the overall experience. Thanks for watching. If you hate the video, dislike it, but if you like the video, feel free to smash the like button. Perhaps you'd consider subscribing and joining our mailing list where we give away new tech products every single month. Perhaps you'd also consider supporting us directly by joining our community forum, link's going to be in the description below for that, or shopping on Amazon with our referral link, again, link in the description below for that. Or consider joining our Patreon and supporting us there. There's going to be a little eye in the top right corner. Feel free to click that and learn more about that.